Does anyone remember 4mealsoftheday.net? If not, let's do a recap. I was reading about disturbing films on IMDb, the Internet Movie Database. I had been making a lot of posts on the recent trend of disturbing films such as Martyrs, Inside, and the most recent, A Suburban Film. I had started a discussion asking about films that are more disturbing than the ones I had already mentioned. Barely anyone mentioned actual movies, and most just brought up disturbing internet videos like BME Pain Olympics and The Suicide of R. Bud Dyer. Nothing I haven't seen on the internet before until I received a personal message. It was about the board. Someone from the board sent me links to 4mealsoftheday.net, a website the messenger called disturbing. At first, I didn't understand. The name of the website didn't seem like it implied any disturbing content. I went to the website. All it really consisted of was 4 option pages. The first one was called About Us. The second was called Download Content, and the third was called Feed the Monster. The final just takes you back to the home page. When you click on the About Us page, it takes you to a page that features a bizarre paragraph that reads, 4mealsoftheday.net is meant to expose the troubles and give an answer to them as they continue in an endless series of videos leading to the 4 meals of the day. We have declared war on the blissfulness and the unfortunate irony. The download content page includes links to videos with download features in QuickTime and WMV format. There were a total of 26 videos on the page, most of which were uploaded in 2006. Most of them had nothing really happening in them other than random everyday sorts of scenarios taking place. Nothing all that disturbing, really. The videos usually featured one of two things. It was either a video of people watching cartoons on television, or it was a video of 2 people talking about random things as they walk through a wilderness trail. The strangest thing is that there was absolutely no real background noise in the wilderness trail, with the exception of static and the people talking. The quality of the videos is like that of an amateur porno flick from the early 90s. Whenever someone talks, it's kind of hard to understand what they're saying due to the fuzzy audio. For some reason, the comment sections of each video were riddled with hate comments and death threats to the creators of the website. The only video that seemed to have any content that can be considered disturbing was a video called Amy, age 20, the 18th video on the download content page. A 15-minute video of the girl titled Amy in an empty room. A door is open in the background. The first 10 minutes consists of her singing and casually dancing around with a handheld karaoke machine. The camera moves around, meaning it's held by an unseen person. At first, the video is kind of funny in a cute way, but then the video cuts to a red screen for a second and then cuts back to the girl still in the room. But now she's on her knees with her face buried in her hands as she cries. The door is now closed and the camera is now set still on the floor, no one else in the room. Earlier in the video, the girl was wearing glasses, but now they are nowhere in sight, and neither is the karaoke machine. We watch her cry for 5 minutes. She occasionally sobs out the lines such as, "Please, Dad, why did you take her?" Before the last second of the video abruptly cutting off, the door in the background cracks open slightly. Right next to the video player, there is a small fuzzy photograph of the girl in the video. The girl had been in many of the previous videos, but she didn't appear in any of the later videos. At least the ones I saw. After watching her cry for 5 minutes, I had to leave the room for a minute. There is no way in hell you can fake that kind of sorrow and misery displayed in the video. I was about to say screw it and leave the site, but I became curious once again. I clicked on the Feed the Monster page. It was basically the download content page, but with only 4 videos in it this time. According to the sidebar, they all had more comments and views than the other videos. All 4 videos were titled after the 4 meals of the day: breakfast, lunch, dinner, and dessert. I decided to watch all 4 of them. The videos mostly had higher quality than the previous videos. They were all in widescreen and they had clearer sound and image quality, but they were much more disturbing than the previous videos. The first video, breakfast, pancakes. At the beginning of the video, a Windows Movie Maker title card comes up and reads, Tabitha, age 16. The footage starts with an exterior shot of an old dirty house surrounded by trees, lasting for 2 minutes. We cut to a fat, shirtless man wearing a pair of bunny ears looking into a mirror with the camera. He has appeared in many of the previous videos as the cameraman. We immediately cut to another shot in a dirty living room with the bunny cameraman and another guy in a red baseball cap talking about random stuff like Catholic schools and life in the big city. The baseball cap guy mentions that they are waiting on someone. After about 11 minutes of talking, they hear a car drive up to the house and someone knocks on the door. The bunny man gives the camera to the other guy, and he quickly takes off his ears and puts his shirt on. When they open the door, a young girl, supposedly Tabitha, is at the door. She is revealed here that the house is in a secluded area in the forest, as seen in the background as the front door is opened. The two men greet her very politely, and they spend another 2 minutes discussing an acting job with her. We cut away to the two men and another guy dressed in a red hoodie and red sweatpants. His face is hidden. All three of them are holding down the girl and duct taping her body like a mummy as she screams. If you look closely, there is a pig nursing in the background. It cuts away as the three men lighting the duct tape girl on fire. She's still alive and squirming around. This clip lasts for 3 minutes until the girl dies. There's another girl now in the room with the men. She has long dark hair and is completely nude. She speaks French and laughs with the men before the video ends. Second video. Lunch. Burritos. The shortest of all the videos, about 17 minutes. This time the title card reads, Maria, age 28. The video starts with a very threatening hooded guy walking around in a dark suburban neighborhood with a camera pointed at him. He is neither the red hooded man nor the bunny man from before. He's fatter than the red hooded man, and he's obviously like 20 years younger than the bunny man. The man stops in some kind of dark alleyway, sits down and stares angrily at the camera for about 30 seconds without blinking, while breathing heavily. He begins talking on a cell phone with someone and says something along the lines of, I have her tied up at my house. I found her at Longhorn Cavern State Park. Longhorn Cavern State Park is a tour attraction located in Burnett County, Texas, giving an idea of where these videos might have been filmed. After hanging up, the man holds the phone up to the camera, revealing it to be 1:22 a.m. The date on the phone reads that it's the 10th of November in 2008, nearly 6 months before the video was uploaded. The video cuts to the inside of a hallway full of doors. A girl is heard screaming and crying from inside one of the rooms. Then the video cuts to the inside of the room. All the lights are off, and the girl's crying can be heard from inside the room, either off-screen or too dark to see her. The door is open during the whole time. Suddenly, the hooded man bursts into the room and runs off-screen. The girl begins to scream louder, but her voice is muffled as if something is covering her mouth. The screaming stops after a period of time. The video cuts to the hooded man holding the camera as he runs down a hallway while spouting profanity. He runs into a bathroom where he points the camera at a mirror looking at himself and begins crying as if something horrible had happened. He pulls down his pants and begins leaving little cuts on his scrotum with a razor. His cries are still heard until the sound of a door slamming is heard somewhere else in the house. He freaks out and immediately grabs the camera and turns it off. Third video. Dinner. BLT. The longest of all the videos. This time, the title card at the beginning read, Dana, age 17. The first 6 minutes takes place during nighttime as an unseen cameraman is wandering around some kind of dark mansion. As this goes on, the cameraman breathes very heavily. He slowly circles the outside until he finally goes inside. As he enters one of the rooms on the first floor, the man who had the baseball cap in the first video is sitting at a desk, scribbling down stuff on a piece of paper. He ignores the cameraman. There is a red couch made of leather in the background, as well as a table with candles on it. The candles are the only lights in the room. It then cuts to the interior of a car driving down a dirt road. A young man drives the car, looks no older than 20. An unseen man in the back seat holds the camera. In the front passenger seat is a girl who introduces herself to the camera as Dana. The one holding the camera points it to himself and is revealed to be the bunny man from the first video. However, he's dressed more nicely and is no longer wearing bunny ears. He smiles at the camera and waves. While the driver and Dana converse for a while, we still focus on the bunny man. He starts mouthing some words but doesn't say anything, as though he's trying to tell us something without others hearing it. Meanwhile, the driver is flirting with the girl Dana. We then cut to the viewpoint of a surveillance camera in the same room that once had lit candles inside, but now the candles have been blown out. The room is lit only by an open window in the background. A man wearing a pig mask enters the room and starts setting microphones under the table and behind the couch. There's then a voice over the recording of someone explaining how he sets up the microphones, and the reason he's setting them up is to hear the voices of the birthday boy and his girlfriend. The man in the pig mask moves to the surveillance camera, so it's focused directly on the couch. The man looks out the window and immediately runs out of the room, like something surprised him. After 4 minutes of staring at the couch in silence, audio picks up as the man and girl who are in the car enter the room. The man's dialogue is barely audible most of the time, but the girl is heard perfectly. They sit on the couch and spend about the next 11 minutes talking. The man says something, but it is hard to hear. He asks a question about the girl feeling sexy while rubbing his hand on the couch in a sexual manner. She replies by saying, "I feel real sexy." The girl talks about random things, from shoe sizes to paintings to her favorite classes in school. Eventually, the man sticks his hand up the girl's skirt and starts tickling her inner thigh. She laughs really hard and almost falls off the couch. The man stops tickling her and says he loves her and something else that was too hard to hear. The video cuts off to a red screen and then cuts back to the viewpoint of a handheld camera. The bunny man is holding the camera, now shirtless with the same bunny ears as before. He points the camera at the girl now laying on the ground with her knees and elbows tied together, leaving her face to the floor and her anus up in the air. Her only bits of clothing are her bra and a pair of socks. Her ankles and wrists are also tied. The camera does a 360 rotation around the girl as she cries. As the camera goes around the room, we can see it's now nighttime from the window in the room. We then focus on the girl's face. She is wearing a fake pig nose around her head. The bunny man tells her to start squealing like a pig, but the girl cries. He begins spanking her while angrily yelling at her to start squealing. She starts to squeal and cry at the same time. If you look in the background, the man in the pig mask has one of his hands down his pants and a digital camera in the other. After 5 minutes of squealing and the bunny man laughing, 3 people enter the room. One is the hooded man from the second video, one is the French girl from the first video, and the other is the man who was tickling the girl earlier, but he seems meaner than before. He's completely nude and he begins to rub her butt cheeks sexually and goes on for a long speech of reasons to justify his plans to kill her. He explains his love for her and stuff involving a desire to keep her in limbo, and he wants to make sure she never leaves him, but he still says he wants to have fun with her at the same time. At this point, he picks up a razor blade off the ground and starts aggressively cutting her butt cheeks with it multiple times until she bleeds violently. By this time, the man in the pig mask comes up and pours a bucket of some light green syrupy liquid on her anus, while everyone sings happy birthday to the man who tickled her earlier. His name is Josh. When the syrup makes contact with the cuts on her skin, she begins to cry in severe pain. The bunny man finally sets the camera down, focused on the girl. Everyone in the room begins to lick the blood and syrup off the girl, with the exception of the man in the pig mask and the hooded guy. She keeps screaming. After 5 minutes of them licking her bottom clean, Josh begins to push a long thin steel pipe into her anus until it's all the way in. He leaves it in for a couple of seconds, then he immediately pulls it out. Blood runs down her legs and he begins to licking it for a moment. Everyone leaves her alone in the room while the camera's still focused on her. After a gruesome 12 minutes of her crying and losing blood, she dies. She sits there dead for another 2 minutes. At the last few seconds, you can see the man in the pig mask walk up to the window and look at her body. Then he walks back the way he came. The video ends. Like the Amy age 20 video, the side of the video player has a doctored shot of the girl in the video. Video 4. Dessert. Chocolate cream pie. The final video. Unlike the first 3 videos, this one doesn't begin with a title card. The video begins in the room from the first video, where the first girl was burned alive. The French girl is in front of the camera, reading a piece of paper in very poor English. She says something about a desire to wipe out the scum of the world and to have fun doing it. Most of the dialogue is vulgar and consists of words like slut and cunt. Upon looking in the background, you can see the pigs from the first video, but the pigs appear to be dead now. The video cuts to a strange bathroom where a man and the girl from the first video, Tabitha, are making out in the shower, but they're still fully clothed. The shot of them making out lasts for nearly 3 minutes. We cut to another red screen for a second, and then we get a minute-long clip of the man in the pig mask having sex with a young girl who appears to be either dead or unconscious. They are in an empty room from the Amy, age 20 video. There's a dog wandering around the room in the video. The dog looks as though it had been burned and beaten on various parts of its body. The pig masked man screams the word food throughout the clip. We cut back to the French girl. She is now in a bathtub full of chocolate syrup and whipped cream. This clip goes on for 3 minutes. She constantly rubs the chocolate between her breasts and asks the cameraman, "Are you hungry?" The hooded man from the lunch video and Josh from the dinner video walk in as the girl gets out of the tub. The both of them begin licking the chocolate and cream off her, especially on the crotch. We cut back to the pig man in the empty room. Neither the girl nor the dog are anywhere in sight. He begins beating a chair against the floor and kicks it multiple times. We keep flashing to various clips of people from previous videos doing random things like jumping on trampolines, naked, cutting themselves, torturing others, putting on makeup, among other things. The video ends with a clip of the bunny man flipping off the camera. I brought up the website many times on the message boards of IMDb, but a lot of people keep telling me to never mention the website on the message boards of IMDb. After 2 weeks of bringing it up on various different forum sites, the website was deleted. If you look around the web hard enough, you can still find videos and images from the website, barely any of which are from the 4 videos I mentioned. A few reaction videos on YouTube were made, and there are talk the creators of the website have made a new one. It's been claimed by many gore lovers that the videos were fake and that they were made as a joke by amateur filmmaker Pablo Macho Masonet IV. There is no proof of this.